Good morning, everyone. It's Lynn Wadsworth from Holistic Health and Wellness. Thank you so much for the second week in a row that I get to do this. And as you probably noticed, I had a request about meal planning. So my plan had been to actually go through a meal prep with you, but actually I ended up having some appointments this morning, so I wasn't able to get in and get the cooking started on time. So I'm just going to go with you through some meal planning ideas. So if any of you hear meal prep or meal plan, then you know how beneficial it is for you. So I'm going to give you 11 quick benefits of meal planning. It's really the only way that I stay on a healthy diet, because if I came home in the evenings, the days that I do work outside the home, then I would probably fail and wonder what on earth I was going to have to eat. So for number one, it gives you less stress. If you are meal planning, then you've got less stress at mealtime. You know what you're going to eat because it was planned ahead when you had the time. Number two, fewer processed and unhealthy snacks, which is, of course, a whole another thing in and of itself. So, of course, you save time and money in buying in bulk, which is really what you do when you're doing your meal planning. And you definitely, number four, save money because you save on your impulse grocery shopping and your food waste. So when I go and I do my meal prep, I've already decided what we're going to eat for the week. And I got a shopping list, and I go by the shopping list. And with the exception of sometimes picking up water and sometimes buying my coffee, I always stay on the outside aisles of the grocery store. And sometimes if you go to places like Sprouts, Whole Foods, you can buy in bulk there. So that definitely saves money. Here in the Brandon area, we have a local farmers market or co-op that delivers or has your groceries or fresh produce there for $20 for a bunch of them. And that you do once a week for $20. And I have compared it to if I go into Publix and I maybe spend $80 to $100 on my produce. So that's a huge savings. So you save time grocery shopping and you save time cooking by doing just your grocery shopping for that week and those specific meals. It's definitely very beneficial. So when you've meal prepped and your meals are pretty much ready, it's taking you less time when you come home in the evenings, and then you have more time to sit down and enjoy your meal, hopefully as a family, and that in turn improves your digestion. So you also tend to eat, this is the seventh benefit, you eat more wholesome foods, much closer to their natural state, and your meals will be more balanced and more nutrient dense. And so then you also can find you have a better variety of foods to choose from. It improves everyone's health because the idea of meal prepping is that you're meal prepping healthy meals. Number 10, it brings your family together, and it can do that because you're prepared. You don't have to spend all that time in the kitchen, so you've got more time to enjoy one another's company. You can satisfy everyone's tastes a lot more effortlessly because if you're like my household, there's only the two of us, but I'm a vegetarian. My husband's a meat eater, so we'd be prepping 2 meals. But instead, I prep all of the side dishes. Then if he wants to eat meat, he does that himself. So getting down to the basics of what I do. So as I said, I do have a recipe program. So every month I have a recipe program for people where I send out recipes. You can find that on my website at holistic-healthandwellness.com. And so I choose the meals I'm going to have for that month, and I will make them in bulk, of course. I get my shopping list together. I go to the grocery store, and I'm very focused when I go. So I don't go in and buy extra stuff. I go in just for what's on my list. I ignore the buy one, get one free. It saves me money. It saves me time in the grocery store. I actually took my granddaughters with me last weekend, and they were like, oh no, we don't want to go to the grocery store. I said, I can promise you 15 minutes in and we're done. and they were just amazed. They couldn't believe that we'd got around the grocery store that quick, because it's not like that in their house. So it can save you time in the grocery store. So then I come home and I spend, when I first started doing this, I have to say it probably took me a good 3 hours to meal prep. But once you've been doing it for a while, you get it down pat. And it takes me now an hour, less than an hour. It depends on what I'm cooking. So I wanted to go into, I'm going to pop in a couple of recipes. One of them that I love to do, because it's a great side and it's really easy, is I take, and I've got, because I didn't do a meal prep, I brought to show you what I use. So I like brown basmati rice. You can buy this at Publix. It's because it's brown rice, which is healthy for you. It's a long cooking rice. So I take a cup of basmati rice and cook it. And then I take, because I'm a vegetarian, I'm always trying to put my proteins in there. So I take lentils. These are Publix own make brown lentils, and I do 2 cups of those in water and cook them. So the rice, of course, you do for 40 minutes, the lentils 20 minutes. And then when they've cooled, you drain them and you mix them together and mix it with half a fresh lemon and put the juice in there. And then I take fresh basil, which I have growing in my backyard, or you can buy the fresh basil at Publix or other grocery stores. Chop that on the top. Now, sometimes I'll put in raisins if I'm going to have it just as a more of a meal for me, because it's got lots of protein in it. So you can also add things later. You could add things like black beans, you could add broccoli, you could add carrots, any kind of vegetables. And then what I do is I make it into a bowl like this size, and I leave it in the refrigerator for the week. It lasts all week. So I just come home and I take out what the portion would be for that meal. My husband will eat that as a side, and then some additional vegetables. So I chop up my vegetables on the weekends and have them in a container as well. So a quick tip with vegetables is sometimes we steam vegetables. Sometimes we like, and I prefer it this way, is roast vegetables. So I take something like carrots, parsnips. Sometimes I put potatoes, the really, really tiny yellow potatoes in there. Beets you can put in there, carrots. So I chop them up for the week. Again, I put them in a big container like this. I take some olive oil, throw the olive oil in there, and then I take some fresh rosemary, which I also grow in my backyard, strip it down from the stem, put it in that bowl, shake it all together, and then when you come home in the evening, you can just throw it in the oven for 35 minutes on 375 and cook it. So the other thing that I use a lot is this. This is quinoa. So I use sometimes just the red, but this is a blend of red, black, and white, which you can get at Sprouts in bulk, and then I put it into a container. So another great recipe, and this is a great lunch recipe, is cook about 2 cups of quinoa. Then when it's cooled down, add in 2 tablespoons of honey or agave syrup. Put in 1/4 cup of fresh lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, mix it into the quinoa, and then I add fruit of my choice, which for me is usually blueberries, sometimes pineapples, sometimes cherries, depends what's in season. And then I'll mix it together and I'll top it with some unsweetened coconut, and then I'll put on the top some slivered almonds. So that would last me for the week. So then I will use, what I most often use, because obviously I want PBA free, is these are my best go-to for a lot of my stuff. Just a plain old mason jar, which I believe I bought at Walmart. And I get mason jars in several sizes. So that size, this is a medium size, and then the large size. So I cook a lot of my stuff, and sometimes I use that. Sometimes I will just throw it into a Tupperware that's PBA safe. and I'm good to go. That will also last for a week in the refrigerator. And then you just take out what you need at the time. So if any of you have green smoothies in the morning, what I do is I use a NutriBullet. I also have a Vitamix, but I actually personally prefer the NutriBullet. So I have a ton of these. So what I'll do is I'll prep all of my ingredients for it. So I use kale as a base. Generally, I prefer the texture. So I'll throw the kale in here. I'll throw in some ginger, fresh ginger, and always apples. I always put green apples in mine. Then I will put another fruit in. At the moment, I'm pretty hooked on apricots because they were recently in season, and so I bought a ton of them and froze them. So of course, if I'm using frozen ones, I don't put them in at the time, but I'll put all of my ingredients in here other than the liquid. So I use either hemp seeds, nuts. I generally don't use a protein powder. And then what I use, and I always use, as well as the ginger, Ceylon cinnamon. So this you can get at Sprouts, Whole Foods, Fresh Produce. This is Ceylon, Ceylon. It is healthier for you than the regular cinnamon that you buy in the store. And I'll throw it all in here, and I will just shut these up, come in the evenings, and I will mix. I don't put milk in mine. I'll put half and half of coconut water and water, blend them the night before, and just pick it up and go. So those are just a few things that I use to meal prep. The other thing I wanted to mention is if you love sweets, and you know I have a 7-day sugar cleanse coming up the 10th of September that's free. And one of the recipes in there is this recipe, because I just really love sweet things. I am a sugar addict, so I really have to be careful. So I take these. These are cashews, and these are raw cashews. So I never get salted. I just get the raw ones. So soak these. This is just a package from Publix. Soak it at least for 2 hours. If I've got overnight that I can do it, I'll do it overnight in some water. Then the next morning, or whenever you're doing it, you drain the water. Then you stick in, and I always use almond milk, and I use this specific almond milk because it is 100% vegan. There's no saturated fats. It's lactose free, soy free, and it's carrageenan free. So a lot of them have carrageenan in, which is a chemical that you really don't want to be drinking. And this one is the one that has no added sugar, so it's 35 calories. So you put in a cup of almond milk or coconut milk, blend it in a blender or in a NutriBullet. So then you've got like a whipping cream. So you put a layer of the cream, a layer of the fruit that you want, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, they work great, or you can mix them together. Then another layer of the cream, and layer as much as you can. And then I finish mine off with this. I just buy the rolled oats, gluten-free rolled oats, put it on the top just as a topping, and it makes a delicious dessert, and it makes a great snack as well, so you can do it either way. So when you are thinking about meal planning, you want to consider your goals. So when you're meal planning, are you doing it as a way to reduce stress? Are you doing it so that you've got more free time in the week? Are you doing it so that you can have more time with your family? Think about what your goals are. If it's weight loss, then that's going to make a difference in what you eat. And consider your time frame, because some days work better for people than others. For me, I'm a Saturday night church person because that way it gives me Sunday free to prep my foods and to do some stuff I need to do for the week. I also, as I said, have that healthy recipe club. So that helps me because I get my recipes up and going for the month, and then I've got a month's worth of recipes that I can use. So that makes it very quick and easy for me. So I'm all about people who are very busy. Most of us are in the corporate lifestyle, or we're entrepreneurs and we don't have much time. And so I'm all about saving time and saving money. I do have some blogs on my website. If you go to holistic-healthandwellness.com/blog and do a search, there are meal planning blogs in there that possibly would help you. And if you need any help with meal planning, I do run classes in homes with people. You just need to get a few friends together and I come in and help you meal prep for the week and show you how to do it and show you how to save time and money. So thank you for being here with me. If you want to join my Sugar Cleanse challenge that is free, 7 days, if you are a sugar addict like me and you need some help, you can go to my website, and if you go to the tab that says free, it's the very first thing there, the 7-day sugar cleanse. So thank you for allowing me to be with you, and I'm sure I will see you in the group again really soon. Have a great Friday and a great holiday weekend. Bye.